Welcome to toy-polloi.
Hello and welcome to another video from toy-polloi. Now recently I reviewed the Cyborgs Cybo-Invader, which was a toy I'd been looking for a while, and I finally managed to pick one up. And in that review I said that I didn't have any missiles for the sort of front two guns that you have here. And since I filmed that, I was lucky enough to purchase 3 missiles. Now these were really quite hard to find and they were really expensive as well, but these are the missing missiles for the Cybo-Invader. And I was quite pleased to get these because really without them it's just not quite a finished toy. So I was excited to get them and I thought I'd try them out, and as soon as I put them in, that's when my disappointment sort of started, because as you can see the missiles don't actually click in place, and they don't click in place in either of these missile launchers. So there's obviously something wrong inside the missile launcher, because the missiles are not broken, they still have their end tabs, but when you push them in you can see the little button clicks up a bit, but they just don't hold in place. So today I thought I'd try and take these apart and see if I can fix these missile launchers and actually make them both work. So let's take one of these apart and see what's wrong with it. So here are the 2 missile launchers off this Cybo-Invader, and I've tried every missile in every combination and neither of them work. So I'm not really sure what's going on. It could be sort of something is broken inside these, but without getting them open it's going to be impossible to tell, and I have a feeling they're going to be quite awkward to open up. There are 2 screws on the top of these, but this front section is glued on. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is just take a knife and score around the gap, hopefully sort of just to crack the plastic, or crack the glue that's holding this front section on. I feel the knife's actually going in quite easily. Just loosen this end section, so hopefully then, oh there you go, that's actually worked. I can pull this end section off and we can start to get inside. So there's a spring there. Let's get a screwdriver and we'll undo these top pieces and we'll see what it looks like inside, and hopefully there'll be a way that we can fix this. There's one screw. And another screw. Now at this point I'm going to open it quite carefully in case things are sort of going to ping out. So there we go, that's the inner section, and I think this is the piece that's not working, because these should clip over that and lock in place, and they're obviously not holding on. So it's that piece that we're going to need to modify slightly. So off camera I've been having a play just to see if I can fix this, and it's actually turned out to be a fairly simple thing to do. This little pin on the right, this is an original one, and you can see what's happened is over time the sort of top edge of this little hook has worn away. So when you slot a missile in, it's supposed to clip onto that sort of little hook, and that's what holds it in place until you press it and then it's sort of released and let go. So what I've done is I've modified the other one a bit and just made it a slightly deeper little hook by using some needle files, so now that when the missile goes in it's got actually more area to sort of hook onto, and that seems to fix it. So I'm going to make the same modifications to this other one and see if it does the job, but I'll show you what it does now. If I take we need one of the tiny little springs and we drop that inside there, and that's where this button presses onto, and then we can push this together. So now when I take this missile and push it into the missile launcher, it should clip on. You can see it now does, and if I press the button it will fire out. So just a simple bit of modification seems to have made it work. So I have some needle files here. I've got a few different shaped ones, and I'm just going to very carefully do the same again, file down this a little bit to make it more of a hook, and put that back in the other missile launcher, and hopefully both of those will then work. So just a bit of careful filing is all that's needed. You can see you don't need to do much filing, you can get the little hook to look a lot deeper. So here's that second missile launcher roughly put together. We'll just take one missile, we can hook that in. You can see that now works, and fires properly. So I think that is all that was needed to fix this. So I can now go ahead and put both of these back together. We'll just slot on the little red end and put the screws back in. We can put them back on the vehicle and test them on the vehicle. We'll do one more test now that that's all screwed together. So I'll drop the missile in, and perfect. That works exactly how it should have done back in the day. So just a little bit of tinkering, I've been able to get both of these missile launchers to now hold their missiles again, and they both fire as well. If I just let this one fire off, you can see they fire with some force, and I have a feeling it's the force of that spring that is the reason that they have sort of worn over the years. The main launching spring is really, really strong, and the little spring there that's pushing the sort of the release button down is incredibly weak. So I think that sort of mainspring is sort of pushing really hard on the plastic and just wears it if you launch them a lot. And I'm guessing on a toy like this they've probably been fired a lot of times, but I'm glad I've managed to get it working, and I can at least now display it with the missiles in place. So there you go, that's a little quick fix guide on how to repair the missile launchers on a vintage Cyborgs Cybo-Invader. I hope that video has been of interest to you, and thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching toy-polloi. Subscribe for more great videos. You can also follow toy-polloi on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.